The unanswered question that is out there that has to be resolved not by me and not by the media, and I presume by either somebody taking a closer look at this report or by a court ultimately, will be why the fire was apparently out. There was a fire watch in the personage of an individual who was there overnight to watch. The person in question, according to the report, saw smoke at 1:24 in the morning, but didn't call the fire department until 3:24 in the morning. And by the time the 2 hours had passed, according to the report, a huge amount of fire had taken root underneath the floor and underneath the stage of the auditorium and so forth. And it then became the major fire that we saw in the second episode, if I can call it that. What measures were put in place to watch over the building, and in this case it was agreed obviously that there was somebody who would watch over the building with the assumption the fire was out, and clearly it wasn't, because as the report outlines, it was sort of smoldering, if that's the right word, inside the walls, inside the floors and so on, and that's why the smoke, I presume, was observed early in the morning hours, and then eventually the fire department came. But by the time they came, the fire was well engaged again, in fact more so engaged than in the first chapter. So that's what those are the questions that now have to be answered. I think there's going to have to be some way in which we can follow up on that report in order to not so much find blame with anybody, but just to sort of figure out how this series of circumstances could have happened the way it did, so that there was a second chapter to the fire which was worse than the first.